Jean-Marc Nattier, French painter, was born in Paris, the second son of Marc Nattier, a portrait painter, and of Marie Courtois, a miniaturist. He is noted for his portraits of the ladies of King Louis XV's court in classical mythological attire. Life. He received his first instruction from his father, and from his uncle, the history painter Jean Jouvenet. He enrolled in the Royal Academy in 1703 and made a series of drawing of the Marie de Médicis painting cycle by Peter Paul Rubens in the Luxembourg Palace. The publication of engravings based on these drawings made Nattier famous. He had applied himself to copying pictures at the Luxembourg Gallery. He refused to proceed to the French Academy in Rome, though he had taken the first prize at the Paris Academy at the age of 15. In 1715 he went to Amsterdam, where Peter the Great was then staying, and painted portraits of the Tsar and the Empress Catherine, but declined an offer to go to Russia. Nattier aspired to be a history painter. Between 1715 and 1720 he devoted himself to compositions like the Battle of Pultowa, which he painted for Peter the Great, and the petrification of Phineas and of his companions, which led to his election to the Academy. Portraits. The financial collapse of 1720 caused by the schemes of law all but ruined Nattier, who found himself forced to devote his whole energy to portraiture, which was more lucrative. He became the painter of the artificial ladies of Louis XV's court. He subsequently revived the genre of the allegorical portrait, in which a living person is depicted as a Greco-Roman goddess or other mythological figure. Nattier's graceful and charming portraits of court ladies in this mode were very fashionable, partly because he could beautify a sitter while also retaining her likeness. The most notable examples of his straightforward portraiture are the Marie Leczinska at the Dijon Museum, and a group of the artists surrounded by his family. The artists surrounded by his family, dated 1730. He died in Paris in 1766. Many of his pictures are in the public collections of France. Thus at the Louvre is his Magdalene, at Nantes the portrait of Le Camarade, and a lady of the court of Louis XV. At Orléans a head of a young girl, at Marseille a portrait of Mme de Pompadour, at Perpignan a portrait of Louis XV, and at Valenciennes a portrait of Le Duc de Boufflers. The Versailles Museum owns an important group of two ladies, and the Dresden Gallery a portrait of the Maréchal de Saxe. At the Wallace collection Nattier is represented by the Comtesse de Tillières, Mademoiselle de Clermont and Sultanate, and the Marquise de Belestat. In the early part of the 20th century in the collection of Mr. Lionel Phillips were the Duchess of Flavac-Haute as Les Silence, and the Duchesses of Châteauroux as Le Point du Jour. A portrait of the Comtesse de Neuburg and her daughter formed part of the Vale collection, and realized 4,500 guineas at the sale of this collection in 1903. Nattier's works have been engraved by Alphonse Leroy, Tardieu, Jean Audran, Dupin and many other noted craftsmen. The Getty Museum has Madame Bonnier de la Mosson as Diana, 1742. The Metropolitan Museum of Art has Madame de Maison Rouge as Diana, 1756. Select Gallery.